World's first teen social media ban, taking back control from big tech. What is the implementation process? Can this move influence other countries?
Australia's social media ban for children under 16 has kicked off today on the 10th of December. The world-first legislation will see the country banning social media platforms and websites including TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Threads and Reddit. The crackdown will lead to the accounts of more than 1 million users under 16 being deactivated in Australia. Social media companies will face a fine of up to $49.5 million, which is 295.17 crore rupees, if they fail to take reasonable steps to comply with the legislation. Why exactly was this step taken and what does it mean? Well, let's get into it. Hello and welcome to another episode of Xplained, brought to you by NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh and today we'll go deeper into what caused this ban and what this means globally. The deaths of two teens triggered the Anthony Albanese-led government to take the landmark action. Mia Bannister's world came crashing down in January when her 14-year-old son, Oliver Ollie Hughes, was found dead in his bedroom. The mother holds social media responsible for her son's battle with anorexia nervosa and his subsequent suicide. Anorexia nervosa is an eating disorder that leads people to have very low body weight, an intense fear of gaining weight and a distorted self-image. The ban applies to 10 social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, X, Reddit, Twitch and Kick. The affected platforms were selected because their sole or a significant purpose is to enable online social interaction. E-Safety Commissioner Julie Inman Grant has said. She also said her office prioritized platforms with the largest number of under 16 users, although the government can update the ban list to include others. There are 200,000 TikTok accounts, 440,000 Snapchat accounts, around 150,000 on Facebook and 350,000 on Instagram, held by kids between 13 and 15 years old. Kids under 16 will no longer be allowed to make new accounts or access the existing ones on these platforms. Without an account, kids may still be able to see content on some social media platforms like YouTube, but they will not be able to post, comment or message other users. The ban applies to people who are ordinarily a resident of Australia. Users who visit Australia for less than 200 days out of the previous 12 months will likely not be affected. The affected platforms are required to take reasonable steps to comply with the law, although they have some discretion over what those steps might look like. Platforms will likely take a number of approaches towards verifying the age of users in addition to asking for their date of birth, which is a typical step when making a social media account. These can include requiring users to submit an official document with proof of age, using biometric data to estimate a user's age such as through live video selfies, and reviewing online behavior like browsing history and social networks. Many of these age checks are not airtight already. Several under 16 users have stated that they have been able to get around age verification or have not had their accounts removed. But underage users won't be breaking the new ban and won't face penalties. Rather, the platforms that let them will be. Companies found to breach the law could face fines as high as $49.5 million. Several countries have explored age-based systems while others rely on parental approvals, national firewalls or broad censorship. Still others are considering new pathways such as stricter app store obligations or device-level controls. Lawmakers cite the impact of algorithms, compulsive engagement and the risks of harassment or exploitation as key reasons for elevating protection levels. They also note that simply depending on companies' voluntary age verification systems or parental settings has proved inadequate. Now, several other governments are closely observing how the rollout unfolds, as many face similar social pressures at home. Early reactions suggest that Australia's model may influence discussions in Europe, Asia and the US. Even a few countries are likely to replicate the framework exactly. Let's take a look at how countries are exploring age thresholds and parental controls. Starting off with the UK. The UK's Online Safety Act compels platforms to prevent minors from encountering harmful material and mandates new safety standards. The law, however, does not set a specific minimum age for accessing social networks. France, on the other hand, under a national law passed in 2023, minors below 15 require parental permission to create digital accounts, but practical implementation has proved difficult because platforms must verify the age of the child as well as the identity of the guardian, an area still fraught with technological issues. In Germany, teenagers aged 13 to 16 are allowed to use social networks only if their guardians agree. Even with that system in place, child protection advocates in Germany argue that existing measures still fall short, with younger children able to bypass safeguards. Italian rules establish that children under 14 need parental approval before opening social media accounts, although users above that age can join freely. Authorities have proposed raising the digital age of consent to 15 from 13, with parents permitted to sign on behalf of younger teens. Discussions are underway to introduce a statutory minimum age of 15 for social media access, meaning the country could ultimately become one of the strictest in Europe. Australia's decision has raised an important question for India. Could a similar prohibition work in India? India's approach, at least for now, appears to lean towards education, awareness and strengthening digital literacy, rather than adopting a strict prohibition. As governments around the world reassess the role of social media in children's lives, Australia's move marks a significant shift in how nations may define digital childhood in the future. For India, with its vast young population and rapidly growing online ecosystem, the focus, at least for now, remains on digital literacy, parental guidance and safer online practices rather than a blanket ban. What's clear though, however, is that the global debate has just begun. Australia's experiment could set off a new wave of regulations, tech innovations and even ethical questions about childhood in the digital age. Whether other countries follow or forge their own paths, one thing is certain: the future of social media for the next generation is about to change.
Australia sets a new standard. World's first teen social media ban. Taking back control from big tech. What is the implementation process? Can this move influence other countries?